I caught my fiancée cheating the night before our wedding. Now she's desperately begging for forgiveness. She must have noticed me staring at her at the party, because she kept glancing my way. After a lot of internal hesitation, I finally approached her. I've always been overweight. It runs in my family, and I've been chubby since childhood. In the past, many girls rejected me, laughing in my face when I tried to ask them out, so I didn't expect anything different from Maya. She was stunningly beautiful, and I thought she'd either ignore me or pretend I didn't exist. But she was different. She spoke to me politely, and we talked the whole evening, having a great time. For the first time in a long while, I felt good and confident. We instantly clicked, exchanged contacts, and I called her as soon as I got home. From then on, we started seeing each other often, going out for lunches, and our friendship grew stronger. Over time, I realized Maya was different from other girls her age. She was kind, witty, and intelligent. I knew from the moment we met that I was drawn to more than just her beauty. Her intellect and sense of humor captivated me the most. Few girls had ever given me a chance to go on multiple dates, but Maya was generous in that regard. I've always been attracted to smart people. I didn't enjoy talking to those without goals, a vision for the future, or any life plans. Maya had all of that. She had just graduated college, was actively job hunting, going to interviews, and seizing every opportunity. I admired how seriously she took her career. I'd never had a serious relationship before, except for one girl in high school. We broke up not because I couldn't maintain the relationship, but because girls often wanted more than the love of a nerd. So, meeting and dating someone like Maya felt like a real victory for me. 3 months after her graduation, she still hadn't found a job. She moved out of her dorm and stayed with a friend, but living there became increasingly difficult. Her parents couldn't support her financially after college. They made it clear she was on her own now. The friend she lived with wasn't very tidy, and often brought her boyfriend over. Since it was a one-bedroom apartment, it became unbearable for Maya. She said living there was taking a psychological toll on her, so I offered her a break and suggested she move in with me. Although I was just starting my career in IT, I had a good salary and earned enough to support us both without her financial contribution. We lived in a spacious one-bedroom apartment, and I fully paid the rent, bills, and groceries. I never complained because I loved her and didn't mind spending money on her, blinded by love, I guess. Throughout our relationship, everything went smoothly, and we rarely had serious arguments. Maya took care of the house, washing dishes, doing laundry, grocery shopping, and meeting my needs in bed. She was amazing in that regard, and I enjoyed every moment with her. Before we started dating, Maya told me about her ex-boyfriend from college and how poorly he treated her. I assured her I was a true gentleman, and I kept that promise. I've never had issues with anger management and have never raised a hand to anyone, let alone a woman, so she was safe with me. Believe me, I've never cheated in my life and had no intention of cheating on her. Plus, my job was 60% remote and 40% in office, so I alternated between working from home and going to the office, which allowed us to spend plenty of time together. I wanted everything to be as transparent as possible. I even set some ground rules. We always tell each other where we're going, who we're meeting, and what we're doing. I did this to show her I was serious and had nothing to hide. As our relationship grew, we introduced each other to our parents and soon met each other's closest friends. I didn't have a best friend, but Maya did. Her name was Andrea, and they hung out constantly. Maya and Andrea were college roommates, but their lives turned out differently. Unlike Maya, Andrea worked as a manager at a large store and lived with her 2 sisters, who were also well-off and independent. According to Andrea, Maya could have gotten a job at the same supermarket, but refused because she wanted to work in the corporate world. I think she just got too used to me providing for her, though I never said that to her. Andrea often teased her, calling her spoiled. Maya would justify it, saying she'd worked multiple jobs throughout her youth and deserved a break while someone took care of her. I was happy to give her that break. It wasn't hard for me to support her. In fact, I was proud to take care of my woman. One evening, we were having dinner at a fancy restaurant to celebrate my promotion. Out of the blue, Maya asked, "What if we got married?" I froze for a second, caught off guard. It wasn't entirely unexpected. I'd already thought about proposing but wasn't fully sure yet. I told her we'd get married when the time was right, and she smiled. Honestly, I wanted Maya to build her career first before we took the next step. I'd always dreamed of a family, and after meeting Maya, I constantly imagined our future together. I'd even bought a ring for the proposal, but was waiting until she had a stable job. However, she somehow found the ring in my closet, and to avoid any misunderstandings, I proposed earlier than planned. When Maya told her best friend Andrea about it, her reaction was more shock than joy. Not the kind of shock you'd expect from a friend learning about an engagement, but rather surprise at who she was marrying. I expected more excitement from her, especially since she was supposed to be a bridesmaid, but that didn't happen. Her reaction was, "Are you serious?" Andrea dropped her purse, picked up the ring, looked at me, and gave a forced smile. I'd known them long enough to tell a genuine smile from a fake one. Though I didn't say anything to Maya, I got the feeling Andrea wasn't thrilled about our wedding. I'd noticed before that Andrea was always overly friendly with me. Once, when the three of us were at our apartment and Maya went to the kitchen to make snacks, Andrea hinted that Maya wasn't who she seemed. I understood what she meant but pretended I didn't. I asked, "What do you mean?" She replied, "You'll figure it out sooner or later." She was drunk, and her words weren't a direct accusation, so I couldn't draw any conclusions. We soon started planning the wedding. Maya dreamed of a grand ceremony with all her friends and family, but that wasn't what I wanted. First, it was way beyond my budget, especially since she wasn't contributing a penny to the wedding. Second, I believe there's life after the wedding. I wanted kids and dreamed of having a child soon after we married, which meant we'd need to rent a bigger apartment and take on extra expenses. Though Maya had her reasons for wanting a lavish wedding, I was firmly against it. She said she wanted a perfect, expensive wedding, but we both knew that wasn't feasible. Unexpectedly, a couple of months before the wedding, Maya got a job. I told her I couldn't afford the dress she dreamed of or pay for her bridesmaids' outfits, so she decided to earn money for her own needs instead of burdening me. Her sensible decision made me happy, and I hoped she'd continue building her career after the wedding. I also expected her to help with wedding expenses now, but that didn't happen. In the end, I paid for the venue, the cake, and everything else on my own. 2 weeks before the wedding, I noticed Andrea messaging me more often. She'd text in the morning to ask if I slept well, then again when she was shopping with Maya. She always found reasons to reach out. But when we saw each other in person, or when she came over to help Maya with wedding preparations, she acted distant, probably to avoid raising suspicion with her friend. At one point, I had to tell her to stop the calls and messages because it was going too far. I was afraid it might ruin my relationship with Maya. I didn't even want to tell Maya about it to avoid damaging their friendship or disrupting the wedding preparations. I knew how much she trusted Andrea, and deep down, I believed Andrea was either trying to flirt with me or wanted me to reconsider marrying her best friend. The evening before Maya's bachelorette party, I finally understood why Andrea had been so persistent in contacting me. The day before the wedding, I was drinking with friends when Andrea called and said she wanted to show me something. At first, I didn't want to go. I thought she was just trying to flirt with me again, but when she mentioned something about Maya and a familiar name, I grabbed one of my friends and went to the hotel room where the bachelorette party was happening. Andrea was waiting for me at the door. She told me something I couldn't believe, and when I opened the door, my heart sank. Even before I walked in, I heard muffled moans, and my heart stopped. I grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and opened the door. What I saw nearly made me faint. Maya was on top of another man. At first, I thought it might be a stripper they'd hired for entertainment, but as soon as she saw me, she jumped off him in a panic and tried to cover herself with a sheet. I immediately recognized the guy. Andrea had already told me it was Maya's ex-boyfriend from college. I couldn't believe my eyes. I don't know when I started crying, but tears streamed down my face. It was too much, and I turned around and left without saying a word. My friend who came with me was just as shocked. He tried to say something, maybe to comfort me, but I brushed him off and walked away. As I went down the hallway, I heard Maya yelling at Andrea. "How could you? Everything was perfect, and you ruined it." Andrea replied, "I told you he deserves better. Rick was too good for you. I warned you to leave that pathetic guy and be with Rick, but you wanted to have your cake and eat it too." I didn't even turn around. I couldn't believe Maya had been playing me this whole time. It hurt too much. Andrea tried to catch up with me, but I slammed the door in her face. I drank until I couldn't see straight. The next morning, I woke up to a ton of missed calls from Maya and a few others. When I left my room, Maya was in her wedding dress, looking pathetic. As soon as she saw me, she rushed over and asked why I wasn't dressed for our wedding. Hearing that, I lost it. In a fit of rage, I pushed her away and loudly announced there'd be no wedding. Everyone froze in shock, bombarding me with questions about what happened and why I'd changed my mind. Even my parents were stunned to see me in such a state. No one expected this after all the money and effort I'd put into the wedding, but I was too broken to explain. I just stared at Maya, feeling my blood boil, then turned around, went back to my room, and locked the door. I heard my parents and friends trying to get answers from Maya, but she stayed silent. Instead, she faked a faint, and they caught her before she hit the floor. After sobering up from the night's binge, I packed my things and left. Before I did, I sent a message to our friends' WhatsApp group, apologizing. "Please don't judge me. I just couldn't do it any other way." Then I turned off my phone. It's been a week, but I still can't come to terms with being played like this the whole time. Update 1. Hi everyone, and thanks for your comments. They mean a lot to me. Some of you asked why I didn't check Maya's background through my friend's sister before dating her. Honestly, I was just naive. I didn't think it was necessary. Early in our relationship, I casually asked my friend's sister about Maya. She said they were on different faculties in college, and Maya was more of a friend of a friend. They didn't keep in touch after college, so that info didn't help much. As for Maya, I met her yesterday, and she was furious that I ditched her on our wedding day. Funny, right? She completely ignored what she did and painted me as the villain to her parents, saying I canceled the wedding because I got too drunk the night before and wasn't myself. I think she's taking my silence for stupidity. I don't want anything to do with her anymore and can't understand why she thinks we could still have a future. Even worse, she admitted that throughout our entire relationship, she kept seeing her ex. That broke me even more. According to her, she did it because I was too busy with work and didn't give her enough attention. I'm just confused now. I never ignored Maya or denied her anything. She was the reason I worked so hard. I could pay all our bills and still take care of her. The thought that she was sleeping with her ex behind my back this whole time haunts me. And now, she's asking to set a new wedding date because she can't handle the shame. This after apologizing to me just once. It only proves she never loved or valued me the way I did her. The whole thing was a game to her. I told her I couldn't marry her. I just can't. Meanwhile, I kicked her out of the house and changed the locks. After meeting Maya, I also met with Andrea to thank her for helping me avoid a disaster. She told me Maya had been using the money I gave her to support her ex. Every time she asked me for an exorbitant amount for shopping, she gave that money to him. Plus, Maya went to the gym every evening when we lived together. She was obsessed with fitness, and I didn't see anything suspicious in that. Now I know she was actually meeting her ex every day. When she said she was hanging out with Andrea, that was a lie. She just asked her friend to cover for her. Now I understand why Andrea was so persistent in calling and texting me. She was trying to find a way to tell me the truth, but I didn't give her the chance. Sometimes I feel like it's my fault for being too naive and letting myself be deceived so easily. But now I'm firm, there will be no wedding. In 2 days, we'll meet again to sort out our things. I'll post another update soon. Update 2. Hi everyone. Sorry for the delay with this update. 3 weeks ago, I met Maya again, and something unexpected happened. When I firmly told her we'd never be together, let alone get married, she looked me in the eyes and said, "Do you really think canceling the wedding will help you find a better woman? No normal woman would want to be with a fat guy like you. You were lucky to even have a chance to marry someone like me. In my entire life, I've never been insulted like that, and the worst part is that it came from the woman I once loved, who claimed to love me." In that moment, I finally saw who she truly was. As hard as it is to admit, I realized she'd been using me the whole time. Yes, I know I'm overweight, but I never wanted to be in a marriage where my wife thinks she's doing me a favor by staying with me. I know those kinds of marriages usually end badly. We barely spoke that day. She just tore off her engagement ring, threw it in my face, and stormed off in a rage. After that, I blocked her everywhere, on social media, her phone number, everything. But before blocking calls from her parents, I decided to visit them and tell them the truth about their daughter. They were completely shocked and disappointed. About a week after Maya left, I started getting calls from an unknown number. When I finally answered, I recognized her voice immediately. It sounded different, softer, more respectful. Without any preamble, she asked if we could meet because she had something to tell me. I insisted she say it over the phone. Instead, she started apologizing, begging me to forget everything that happened and start fresh. And guess what happened next? She claimed she was pregnant. I found that suspicious right away. Before I could say anything, she added, "Rick, I'm pregnant with your child." I burst out laughing and told her April Fool's Day was still far off, but she was already starting her pranks. Then I hung up. As expected, she didn't stop. She kept calling over and over, so I had to block that number too. Later, I found out her boyfriend dumped her when he realized he couldn't keep living off her. When she told him about the pregnancy, he just disappeared. With no better option, she decided to try pinning the baby on me. Since then, she's been using different numbers to reach me, but I just don't answer. 2 days ago, she showed up at my place uninvited. Andrea happened to be visiting me at the time. When Maya saw her, she lunged at her, hurling insults and accusing her of ruining her life. On top of that, she started accusing me and Andrea of cheating, saying we'd been together behind her back. I ended up calling the police, and yesterday, I filed for a restraining order against her. Honestly, I can't even imagine how ruined her life must be now. No job, no support, and possibly a child on the way. As for Andrea and me, there's nothing between us, and there probably never will be. She just stops by occasionally to check on me. I just want to rebuild my life and let my broken heart heal. I still can't forgive Maya, but it seems she's gotten what she deserves. I'm still trying to move on. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks.